Congress erupts as Ted Cruz humiliates this transgender activist directly to her face. You guys are not going to want to miss this.
Judge Thomas, welcome. As I look at your record, it continues a pattern of the Biden administration of nominating individuals to the bench who have long careers as activists. Throughout the course of this hearing, you have explained some of your prior positions as simply representing a client. But when I look at your career, I don't see that. I see that you are passionately committed to a particular vision of the law. It has ranged from filing briefs in litigation in the state of Texas, defending race-based discrimination in university admissions, to most consistently transgender activism, and I would submit extremism. And this hasn't been one client you had in one case. This has rather been a consistent pattern that extended when you were a lawyer for the state of California, that extended when you were a lawyer for the U.S. Department of Justice, that extended when you were a lawyer for the state of New York. In 3 different jurisdictions, you have been involved in litigation on the extremes of transgender issues. And in particular, you've carved out an expertise for yourself using litigation to force institutions to allow biological males to use restroom facilities and locker facilities that are also used by girls, young girls, that are used by women. And this has been a pattern. When you were a lawyer for the state of California, you filed a lawsuit against Crunch Fitness, a gym, for not moving quickly enough to allow a biological male to use the women's locker room. When you were a lawyer for the state of New York, you filed briefs against the state of Texas, against the state of North Carolina, again, advocating for biological males to use girls' and women's restrooms. And, you know, the thing I find troubling about these arguments is it seems the women and girls never have any rights. That the girls that would like to shower next to someone who is not a biological male, who would like some privacy, their rights never seem to matter. And your pattern, it's not a single case. It is across 3 jurisdictions over and over again. In the Texas case, the brief you filed said, quote, "There is no data or tangible evidence in support of the claim that allowing people to use bathrooms corresponding with their gender identity will lead to increased violence or crime in restrooms." Do you stand by that statement?
Thank you for the question, Senator Cruz. Again, as an advocate, you advocate for the positions of your client. I haven't been an advocate for 3 years. I've been a judge. And when
3 years is not very long. And my question is simple. Do you stand by that statement?
Senator Cruz, it would not be appropriate or consistent with my ethical duties to my former clients to comment on my personal views about any case that I worked on. What my duty was to advocate zealously for my clients. I have set aside the advocacy role, and I now occupy a judicial role where what you're
Judge, your brief also contended, quote, "In states where anti-discrimination protections are already the law, the predicted safety harm has never materialized." You made a bold, aggressive, factual statement, by the way. In North Carolina, you said safety concerns were, quote, "unfounded." You were an aggressive advocate, an activist advocate. And I believe the statements that you represented to the court, and those are statements that you're making as an officer of the court. I believe they were false, and they are extreme. You've heard You testified to this committee that you were not aware of what happened in Loudoun County until this morning. I find that remarkable for someone who has spent years as one of the leading activists for allowing transgender biological men to use girls' restrooms and women's restrooms. In Loudoun County, Scott Smith, who's the parent of a 14-year-old girl, alleged the Loudoun County School Board covered up the sexual assault by a gender-fluid individual against his 9th grade daughter who entered the girls' bathroom in a skirt. And this individual was charged with 2 counts of forcible sodomy, 1 count of anal sodomy, and 1 count of forcible fellatio. The school district covered it up. They released this sexual predator, and the predator committed sexual assault again, twice. Why did you represent to the court that concerns about violent sexual predators committing violent crimes against young girls are unfounded and speculative? Why did you represent that to the court?
Thank you for the question. I advocated on behalf of my clients based upon the data that we had at the time, and I zealously did so in those cases and in every other case that I handled.
Were you right?
Senator Cruz, it would not be appropriate for me to comment on the merits of any personal views regarding litigation that I handled on behalf of my clients.
Well, these little girls who were sexually assaulted
let her respond.
will have a very different assessment.
Senator Cruz,
these little girls who were assaulted. Thank you for your views, but
you're past time. Let's afford Ms. Thomas an opportunity to respond to your
perfectly welcome to respond. But as I said, the little girls who were raped in Loudoun County would have a very different assessment of whether this threat and danger is speculative or not, and you're more than welcome to respond.
She doesn't want to answer whether or not it was right or wrong what happened in that bathroom. And that's exactly what's wrong with society nowadays. Everyone should be able to say in unison, this type of behavior should never be happening. And the fact that this school withheld this information from other parents and that the full force of the law did not come down on this transgender person who committed these horrible acts in the bathroom is the reason it happened again. It needs to protect our kids, and that starts with putting only females in female bathrooms and only males in male bathrooms. Whatever gender you were born with, that's the bathroom you're going in. End of story.
Thank you. I will just conclude by saying again that I understand the difference between being an advocate and being a judge. I am a judge now, and what I'm guided by is the record before me and the law, and that is what I do now, and it's what I'll continue to do if confirmed.
Thank you.
Mr. Beckerman, thank you for being here today. I understand this is the first time that TikTok is testifying before Congress, and I appreciate you making the company available to finally answer some questions. In your testimony, you talked about all the things you say TikTok is doing to protect kids online, and that's great. But I want to discuss the broader issue here, which is the control the Chinese Communist Party has over TikTok. Its parent company, ByteDance, and its sister companies like Beijing ByteDance Technology. Now, TikTok has stated repeatedly that it doesn't share the data it collects from Americans with the Chinese Communist Party, and that it wouldn't do so if asked. It has also stated that, with regards to data collected on and from Americans, that data is stored in Virginia with a backup in Singapore. But these denials may in fact be misleading. A quick look at TikTok's privacy policy, in fact, just last night, shows there's a lot more than meets the eyes. For example, in the, quote, how we share your information section, one blurb reads, quote, we may share all of the information we collect with a parent, subsidiary, or other affiliate of our corporate group. Interestingly, in June of this year, the privacy policy was updated to state that TikTok, quote, may collect biometric identifiers and biometric information as defined under U.S. laws, such as face prints and voice prints. Mr. Beckerman, does TikTok consider ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok, which is headquartered in Beijing, to be a part of TikTok's, quote, corporate group, as that term is used in your privacy policy?
Thank you, Senator. This is an important question. I'd just like to take an opportunity first to clear up misconceptions around some of the accusations that have been leveled against the company. I would like to point to independent research. I understand that trust needs to be earned.
Mr. Beckerman, I get you may have broader points you want to make. My question is simple and straightforward. Does TikTok consider ByteDance, the parent company headquartered in Beijing, to be part of TikTok's corporate group? That's a yes or no.
Senator, access controls for our data is done by our U.S. teams. And as independent researchers, independent experts have pointed out, the data that TikTok has on the app is not of a national security importance and is of low sensitivity. But again, we do hold that to a high standard, and we have access controls.
Mr. Beckman, we're going to try a third time because the words that came out of your mouth have no relation to the question you were asked. Your privacy policy says you will share information with your corporate group. I'm asking a very simple question. Is ByteDance, your parent company, headquartered in Beijing, part of your corporate group? Yes or no, as you use the term in your privacy policy?
Senator, I think it's important that I address the broader point in your statement.
So are you willing to answer the question, yes or no? It is a yes or no question. Are they part of your corporate group or not?
Yes, Senator, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay, so under your privacy policy, you're explicitly stating that you may be sharing data with them, including biometric identifiers, including face prints, including voice prints. Is that correct?
No, Senator. In the privacy policy, it says that if we are to collect biometric information, which we do not collect biometric data to identify Americans, we would provide consent and opportunity for consent first.
But you also say we may share all of the information we collect with a parent subsidiary or other affiliate of our corporate group, which means with ByteDance headquartered in Beijing, correct?
Under U.S. access control, sir.
All right. Secondly, what about Beijing ByteDance technology, which media reports from earlier this year showed Beijing took a minority stake in through a state-backed internet investment Chinese entity, and on the board of which now sits Wu Shenggang, a CCP official who spent most of his career in Chinese propaganda, including with a stint at the Online Opinion Bureau under the Cyberspace Administration of China, China's internet regulator. Would you consider Beijing ByteDance technology to be a part of TikTok's corporate group with whom TikTok could share all of the information it collects?
Senator, I want to be clear that that entity has no affiliation with TikTok. It's based for domestic licenses of the business in China that is not affiliated or connected to TikTok.
So are you saying no or yes or no as to whether Beijing ByteDance technology is part of your corporate group? As the privacy policy defines it, it says we may share all of the information we collect with a parent, subsidiary, or other affiliate, and presumably that's where it would fall, other affiliate of our corporate group. Is Beijing ByteDance technology a, quote, other affiliate of your corporate group?
Senator, I'm saying that entity deals with domestic businesses within China. It's not connected with TikTok.
You're having a hard time. You're answering questions I'm not asking. Again, it's a yes, no. Is Beijing ByteDance technology a, quote, other affiliate of your corporate group as your own privacy policy defines it?
Senator, I'm just trying to be clear to answer your question. That entity is based in China for the Chinese business that is not affiliated or connected with TikTok.
Okay. So that's twice you haven't answered. Last time you did it on the third time, so let's try it again. Again, it's a yes, no.
The answer is the same, Senator.
Which is?
What I just said, that entity is...
Okay. What you just said did not answer the question, so let me just repeat the question again. Is Beijing ByteDance technology a, quote, other affiliate of our corporate group as your privacy policy defines it? Yes or no?
Senator, as I stated, that entity does not have any relation to the TikTok entity.
So I'll point out it took 3 questions to get you to answer about your parent. You finally answered yes, that you can share all your information with your parent company based in Beijing. I've asked you 3 times about this sister company that is obviously another affiliate. You've refused 3 times. that may be revealing. Often, as Sherlock Holmes observed about the dogs that do not bark, it may be revealing that the Chinese propaganda minister that is serving on your sister company and who's been in the business of online propaganda, you're refusing to answer whether they fall under your privacy policy. That reveals, I think, a great deal, unfortunately.
Senator, with all due respect, I'm just trying to be accurate here. There's a lot of accusations that are just not true, and I want to make sure that it's
okay,
clear.
I'm going to give you one more chance, and my time is over. But look, in baseball, 3 strikes, you're out. Tonight, the Astros are going to begin winning the World Series. Let's see if a 4th strike, you could actually answer the question. And it's a simple yes/no. Is Beijing ByteDance Technology a, quote, other affiliate of our corporate group, as your privacy policy defines that term?
Senator, as I pointed out before, my answer is the same.
Yes or no? You didn't answer.
Senator, I appreciate you're trying with gotcha questions. I'm just
It's
trying to be,
not a gotcha question. I'm asking about your policy.
I'm just trying to be truthful and accurate about the
Are you willing
between...
to answer this question, yes or no?
Senator, I answered the question.
You have not answered the question. Is it another affiliate, yes or no?
Senator, I stated a number of times that entity is a domestic entity within China for licenses there. And
apples are red. You stated something that is not the question I asked. Is it another affiliate as defined under your privacy policy, yes or no?
Senator, I answered.
You're here under oath. Are you going to answer the questions?
I answered the question.
Or were you instructed not to answer this question?
No, Senator. I'm just.
So you're just not refusing to answer it because you don't want to?
Senator, it is not affiliated with TikTok. That's your question, and that is the answer.
So your answer, I want to be clear because you're under oath. Your answer is that Beijing ByteDance Technology is not a, quote, other affiliate of our corporate group, as your privacy policy uses that term. This is a legal question with consequence.
Senator, I understand the question. As I pointed out, TikTok is not available in China. That is an entity that is for purposes of a license of a business in China that is not affiliated with TikTok.
So for the record, you're refusing?
I believe I answered your question, Senator.
Yes or no? Tell me which one it is. Just give me one word, yes or no.
Senator, I answered the question.
You're not willing to say yes or no?
It was not a yes or no question. I want to be precise.
Okay,
I want to be.
Is this company another affiliate as defined in your privacy policy? That is binary. There's not a maybe. It's yes or no.
Senator, the way I answered, I'm not aware that is the answer to the question.
Okay, so you're refusing to answer the question. That does not give this committee any confidence that TikTok is doing anything other than participating in Chinese propaganda and espionage on America.
Pitbull when it comes to questions. He wants you on record specifically answering yes or no. Because if you lie, he is going to hold you accountable because you broke the law. I do respect that a lot. This man does not receive the admiration, credit, or gratitude for the things that he does because he's one of the few people in Congress who are actually looking out for us. Going back to the whole TikTok situation, sometimes a non-answer is an answer. I feel like they must be connected just for the sheer fact that the guy wasn't answering the question, but that does not necessarily mean there's malicious intent and actions going on. Sure, it may look likely, but there's no concrete evidence of that. I don't understand why people always bash TikTok this, TikTok that, when there are companies in America that are doing the same thing, but much worse. You don't think Instagram, Meta, Reddit, Facebook, all these different social media platforms, they aren't gobbling up all this information on all of us and selling it for profit? It is a multi-billion, if not trillion-dollar issue that is happening all over the world. But yeah, going back to the bathroom situation, I could not imagine having a young daughter in the world today and then a man who identifies as a female walks in right after her. Are you going to be comfortable letting your daughter in that situation? Absolutely not. It's time we get common sense back in this country. And with Donald Trump under the helm in the Oval Office, that is exactly what's going to happen. This sort of nonsense is not going to fly any longer, and I am here for it because that is exactly what we need. But I personally feel in order to tackle this issue head on, we need to go after the educational systems in this country because that right now is truly where the youth are getting indoctrinated into all this propaganda. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this down below. Do you think TikTok should be a major issue for Donald Trump right now? And also, how do you think the bathroom situation should go? If you're born a male, you go in the male bathroom and vice versa with females? Let me know. I'd love to know your opinions. And if you enjoyed, make sure to smash that like, comment, subscribe, and wish you guys nothing but the best. Till next time.